We begin in Austria, where the far right has been given a mandate to lead the country after the collapse of coalition talks between centrists. President Alexander Van der Bellen has tasked the leader of the far-right Freedom Party, Herbert Kickl, with forming a new government. The Freedom Party won the most votes in September's election, but it was not given the first chance to form a coalition because other parties refused to work with the far right.
These protesters are angry at what they believe would change the course of their country's future. Soon, the far-right Freedom Party could lead the government. Its leader, Herbert Kickl, now has the job to form a new government, a decision many here disapprove of.
What's happening right now is very important for us. That a right-wing extremist politician who's calling himself the People's Chancellor, and the last time someone called himself that was Adolf Hitler, that this person might get a mandate to form a government is unacceptable to us.
We don't want to wake up in a fascist country or in an authoritarian system like in Hungary. We want to maintain democracy.
The Freedom Party won the most votes in the September elections in Austria, gaining nearly 29%. But since then, the other political parties failed to form a coalition, forcing the president to task Kickl with forming government.
Mr. Kickl is confident of finding viable solutions within the framework of government negotiations, and he wants this responsibility. I asked him that explicitly. I have therefore instructed him to enter into talks with the Conservatives to form a federal government. Herbert Kickl will report to me on the progress of these talks on an ongoing basis.
But the prospect of a government led by the far right is leaving these people nervous about Austria's future direction.
Journalist Steve Shade is following developments for us in Vienna. Steve, how likely is it that Herbert Kickl, the leader of the Freedom Party, will be able to form a government with the Conservatives?
More and more likely. It is clear that both parties want this. It is clear that at least one of the parties needs this. I'm talking about the People's Party. The truth of the matter is that the Freedom Party holds all the cards here. They're going to go into these coalition negotiations with a hard line. They are determined to get everything they want, and the ÖVP, the People's Party, is in a weak position. When I say the Freedom Party holds all the cards, if the coalition talks were to break down and the country had to go to new elections, the Freedom Party is fine with that because the latest opinion polls show them edging up to as much as 40%, and the People's Party edging downward toward about 20%.
If Herbert Kickl does become Austria's next chancellor, Steve, what impact could that have on Austrian politics?
A profound impact. We're talking about the first right-wing-led government in the Second Republic of Austria. This is a man, Herbert Kickl, who looks across the border to Hungary for inspiration. He looks at Viktor Orban and really likes what he sees over there. So you're seeing Herbert Kickl being inspired by cracking down on the media, cracking down on all forms of opposition, taking a hard line on immigration, giving the EU a hard time. The fear by people who oppose Herbert Kickl is that Austria will be a smaller country under Freedom Party leadership.
Now, protesters are out on the streets of Vienna. What exactly are they looking for, Steve? What are they demanding?
They do not want to see the country led by a right-wing government. This is a disaster for a large part of the electorate. This is their nightmare come true. They have feared this moment, and now they're seeing it happen before their eyes. They would like to see it go back to perhaps a minority government, anything that would exclude the Freedom Party from actually coming into power. So yeah, we're seeing people take to the streets. They want to see a government formed, cutting out the Freedom Party at all costs. But I think it does need to be said that among the groups of people that we saw protesting today, there were some people out demonstrating in favor of the Freedom Party because all other options have been exhausted. So some people are saying, even if they didn't want to see it come to this, fine, let the Freedom Party get in and see what can happen. But the people you're seeing on the screens now, they have a very, very firm position saying this is the worst possible thing that can happen to Austria. It'll be a blemish on its history.
Steve, thank you very much. That was journalist Steve Shade in Vienna. Good to see you again.